What's up, everybody? It's the PREKap. Capping up with you on a Bears Sunday. Chicago Bears playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Cap fresh off of a trip. When I say fresh off, like 30 minutes in the front door, fresh off a trip from Vegas. Cap took an early flight home. A lot of people are being like, what are you doing? That was always the plan. Always the plan for Cap and company to come home early and be on his couch ready to go come Bears game. Cap, how was Vegas? I want to ask you a couple questions because you said that the Bears fan base had flipped Vegas upside down.
I was just stunned by the amount of people that were there in Chicago gear. Stunned. I stayed at Mandalay Bay. I walked from Mandalay Bay all the way to the Wynn and walked halfway back, and then it started raining, so I took public transportation for the first time in forever for this guy. And all I did was see people in Bears, Bulls, Cubs, White Sox, Blackhawks, but obviously 99% of that gear was Bear stuff. I was stunned by how many people were there from Chicago.
I want to get right to the inactives because a lot of people haven't seen these. Even you did not know this prior to coming on here. Here's the inactives list for the Bears. It's full of big names, full of starters, and maybe full of concern. I want to ask you about it, Cap, because Kyler Gordon's maybe the most surprising name on this list. Surprising because it looked like all signs were pointing to him playing this week.
He said that. You're going to see me. I'm playing. So yeah. I don't know if he didn't warm up well. I don't know if the team doctor said you're not playing, because everything we heard and everything I was told in Vegas was he's playing.
So Kyler Gordon out, Grady Jarrett out, TJ Edwards out, Colson Loveland, which we heard from Adam Schefter yesterday, out, Darnell Wright out, and then Chris Williams and Case Keenum. But
yeah, Keenum's the emergency guy, so that's correct. The only one not a surprise.
Correct. So Darnell Wright, we knew all week Darnell Wright was looking like he was not going to play. Of course, Max Crosby is a concern on the other side of the football when you're looking at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have a ton of holes, but this is a team that it's a funny oh my God, what a week can do to the fan base, right? Because a week ago, you and I are sitting here at this exact same time going, oh God, the sky is falling. And if it doesn't trend well today, the season's over. Now we're sitting a week later talking about the entire season and the momentum could change with a win today and going into that early bye that nobody likes at 2-2. But there's some big names on this list, particularly on the offensive and defensive line, that you don't like to see for the Bears. I think this game's going to be a little bit more of a slugfest and a dogfight than people think. What is your take?
Oh, I think it's going to go right down to the wire. I do. I talked to our guy Olin, and he said very concerned about Ashton Genty's ability to run the football on the Bears. So if he's right, I mean, Andrew Billings and Dio Odengbo, these guys are going to have to step up and really do a great job against the run, or the Bears could have real problems. My question is, can the Bears run the football? Because if they can run it, it sets up everything else down the field.
Yeah, agreed. And we've been hearing all week. We've been saying it. Courtney Cronin came on your show. Everybody to a person has been like, don't let this be the Ashton Genty breakout game. Don't let this be the Ashton Genty breakout game. Well, if it is, then you need to contain Geno Smith. And Geno Smith is not the sexiest name alive, but he's a pretty damn good starting quarterback in the NFL. And the Raiders aren't your dad's. Like, this is not the Raiders of the last 10 years, Cap. They're really well coached. You and I, before Ben Johnson was even a thought to go to the Bears, like the idea of Pete Carroll coming here for a short-term culture change type thing. So
correct.
Knowing that they have good ownership in place and Tom Brady is a part of it and they're really well coached, their roster is not as talented as Chicago. That's a fact. And you look at Eric and he says, find a way to win a damn football game, plain and simple, take care of business. And when you have injuries and you have guys that you're concerned about being out today, it's all about next man up and who's going to be the guy that we're not talking about right now that's going to make the play that come 6:30 tonight. We're saying, what a game by X.
Yeah, and there's so many things you could point to. You know, everybody says, don't turn the ball over, don't do this, do that. I will tell you, I think it comes down to two things. Can the Bears run the football on a team they should be able to impose their will on a little bit, and can they stop the run? If you do those two things, barring catastrophic turnovers, I think the Bears win the football game. But as you said, if you have an Ashton Genty breakout game and he runs for 110 yards and a score, and they control the clock, and you can't run the ball, you're going home a loser.
Yep. Michael Brown says Bears win. And then, look, we're watching these NFL games right now. You should never be shocked. You should never be shocked when you're looking at games in the fourth quarter, and regardless of record, there's one-score games across the board. You know, you look at the Bills and Saints right now. That's a coin flip football game. The New Orleans Saints were 14.5-point underdogs. The Lions just pretty much iced the game with a big touchdown right there. The Patriots are blowing out the Panthers, who a week ago blew out the Falcons, who today are blowing out the Commanders. Well, now it's 31-24.
Yeah, the Commanders just scored and went for 2 and got it.
So, but my point is, there's no sure thing in the NFL. And for all of, and look at the Giants. I mean, Jackson Dart gets the start. Malik Neighbors looks like he went down to a pretty catastrophic knee injury, and they're beating one of the better football teams in the NFL and the LA Chargers. There's no gimmies. There's no handouts in the NFL. And if you turn the football over, or you walk into somebody else's venue thinking, we got all the momentum and this is all about us, I'm telling you right now, you're going to go home sad on that charter.
Yeah, you will. And you have every opportunity to win a football game today. You do. And I do think Caleb Williams is going to have a good day again throwing the football. I think Rome Odunze is going to have a good day catching the football. But it's going to come down to, can you keep Max Crosby out of your backfield, and can you slow their run game down? There you go.
Yeah, OD, very week-to-week league. Heisenberg, Bears are either dominating today with a W or scoring 9 points. I do think there's an in-between there, Heisenberg. I do. I think the Bears they could lose this game 20-17. We're going to give you our picks here shortly. I've been very consistent all week of what I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to feel as sexy out of the gate as Dallas. I just have this feeling that it might take a little longer on the road to do that. However, I will say, let's talk about Caleb here, Cap, because he's following up now an NFC Offensive Player of the Week. What do you need to see? We've seen the progression from Minnesota to Detroit to Dallas. He looks a lot more comfortable in the pocket. His vision is left to right to back to left again. Obviously, we know 0 sacks last week. That's both on the offensive line and Caleb Williams. 4 touchdowns. We saw some of the trick plays, etc. He's not going to throw for 304 every single week. What do you need to see today for Caleb Williams to take another step?
I absolutely need to see Caleb, breaking the huddle at 18 seconds. And I said that to you last week on the PREKap.
Yep.
18 seconds is the magic number. And if he does not get out of the huddle on time, it means they're struggling to get the play call in. And now you've got some issues. And all of a sudden you're like, oh boy, what is going on here? And that leads to pre-snap penalties. And you've got a new right tackle. So that is one key. The second key is watch his footwork. If his feet are quiet and he's looking, surveying, but if his feet are all over the place and he's running loop-de-loops, as Hoodie likes to say on my radio show, they're going to have problems. Those two things will tell you right away how their defense is going to be.
Bubs, adding to what you just said about a new right tackle. We got to see the
Touchdown Buffalo Bills, by the way.
There you go. It doesn't take long for Josh Allen to shove it right back at the New Orleans Saints. We got to see the Canadian Eagle take on Max Crosby. This is a true test if we found a gem. I would like for once to sit there and talk about finding a gem rather than overdrafting a player that's not good enough to dress for 3 weeks. So let's see if that is a fact.
I do think that they found a gem in Tyson Bagent, undrafted free agent. We'll find out about Theo Benedette. We'll see. We'll see. They've had some really, really astute signings. TJ Edwards, that was not a coveted signing. Awesome. But then they have some other ones where you're like, what were you looking at there? So we'll see.
Jarrett says, welcome back, Cap. Surprised you're not taking a quick nap before the Bears kick off at 3:25. Hey, Jarrett, don't be surprised. You don't know Cap then. This man sleeps for he sleeps with one eye open, dude. This guy's he's always feasting on someone or something. So watch out.
Guff, I got to tell you the blackjack story from this morning. Okay. So I my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. My flight's at 7. I already packed last night, and I have a tradition. When I was making no money, it was $5 at a blackjack table when I was a 21 or 22-year-old in Vegas. And I would walk up to the table. Now it's with $100 bill. As I'm leaving, I put the 100 down. I get $100 chip. I put it out, and I play $100. If it hits, I double the bet. So I take the winnings and the initial stake. I put it out there again. If that hits, I could go a third time, but today I had to get to the airport. I said, if I hit 2 in a row, I'm cashing out and I'm gone. So I put the 100 down. I get blackjack. So now it paid 6-5, not 3-2. So I got 120 back. So now I put 220 out there, and I get 20, and she busts. So now I've got 400 and what did I have? 220 and another and 220. I have 440. I put the $40 back out there. I took the 400 off the table. I lost, and I said, that'll be all. And I went to the window and turned my 100 into 400.
That a
super
boy.
cool. Super
That's
cool.
awesome. That is, I love that stuff. Cap and I love doing that. Usually him and I at minimum do it once a year. It's coming up, actually. It's a few short months away from our daily or our yearly vaunt down to the old
we
river.
do it at the holidays.
Yeah, yes, we will. Looking forward to that. Hey, Bubs, quick off topic here. My boss opened up a coffee shop in Wisconsin. If I get you his beans, can he be featured on Coffee with Cap?
100,000%.
There you go, Bubs, especially if it's in Wisconsin. I hope you have a Packer brew as well, because we'll stir that up.
Where is it in Wisconsin, Bubs?
Let's go, Bubs. Kyle, what's up, Cap and Guff? Let's go, Bears. The real Phil Simms. Caleb better build off his performance from last week. No half-stepping. Take that, says Coward, a big fan of the program. Bears 27, Raiders 23. Caleb to Rome for the game winner. Cap won himself some beer money, or is it Hooters money now, says Landon.
Hooters money.
Hawaii, Cap needs a Walter White hat and some glasses. We got, it's called Little Sisters Coffee. There you go, Cap. In
Where?
Medford, Wisconsin.
So, Bubs, is that anywhere near Oshkosh? Because that's where I have a summer home.
Cap, do you plan to go to another game at Soldier Field before they move to Arlington Heights?
It's not in the cards. I may have to. You never know. But no, I do not.
Jarrett loves what you did on the blackjack table. How about the Illini win yesterday that they almost coughed up and blew, but that was a nice win. Kyle, do you plan to go? Oh, that's another. Do you plan to go? Go Bears, go Cowboys. Stevens understands what's going on. Steven understands what's going on.
Dude, I'm going to be cheering my lungs out for the Cowboys to beat the Packers today. That would be amazing.
Hey, I really do. I think that's going to be closer than the experts think.
I'm with you. I am with you.
Does Micah Parsons get 2.5 sacks? Probably. But does that mean it's going to equal? Does Jordan Love make a bonehead play at some point late in the game? Probably. So we'll go from there. All right, Cap. What you said you like, Caleb. You said you like Rome. I think we both are leaning Bears here. What's your take? What's the score?
Okay, so first, I have the Bears winning the game 24-20. That's 1. 2, my prop bets I played, Rome over 65 yards, Caleb over 227.5, Ashton Genty over 65.
Okay. I like it. Kyle says you're invited to my tailgate if you make an exception to go to Soldier Field before the move. Kyle, if we go, I'm telling you, we will be at your tailgate. I appreciate all you guys do, says Noah. You guys do a great job. You guys are great. We appreciate you guys, Noah, for being here as a part of the program. I've said all week, Cap, 27-21 Bear. But I think it's going to be I wouldn't be surprised if it was 7-0 Raiders out of the gate. I think it is going to go back and forth. I would love to be sitting here at the end of tonight talking about a 38-14 win and go, well, man, we were wrong because the Bears just went boom and never looked back. But we just talked about the week-to-week league that the NFL is. You box up what happened last week, and this is a brand-new script, a brand-new ball game, a brand-new opponent, and you go from there with an opportunity to get to 2-2. The Vikings now are 2-2 after losing today in Dublin, Ireland. They got all kinds of offensive line and quarterback issues. The Packers, they're not invincible, as we saw with Cleveland last week, and the Detroit Lions are going to move to 3-1 with a win over Cleveland today. So I still think Detroit right now, a quarter into the season, is the cream of the crop in the NFC North. But if you can get to 2-2 and you get to the early bye, you're relatively healthy, big picture thinking here. Yes, there's a lot of guys out today, but you're relatively healthy, Cap.
Look, you have every chance to win this football game. And what by hook or by crook, you have to find a way to get on the plane. I don't care how you do it, 2-2. That's it. But somehow, some way, you have got to get on the plane 2-2. That's it.
There you go. Kyle, how do we plan to spend the bye week? By doing a shit ton of content here on the recap and getting ready for the Cubs in the playoffs on Tuesday afternoon. So there's no bye week for Cap and I. We will watch football next week. I promise you that. We won't be doing a Bears recap.
I actually am going back to Vegas.
I know you are.
I told you that. It's my wife's birthday, everybody. She wants to see the Eagles at the Sphere. And so I am going to take her Thursday late afternoon. So I'll be on the air all week, but I'll miss radio on Friday. I'll do recaps, obviously, and hopefully the Chicago National League Ball Club will not disappoint us.
Cap, I buried the lead before we go here. You and I are playing head-to-head in the Renegade Fantasy League, and screw you. For the first time in a month, you checked your lineup, and before you got on the plane today, all of a sudden I saw you had multiple guys out, and I was going to laugh my way all the way. And I'm like, who got to Cap and told him that he's playing me?
Nobody. I had it in my calendar.
That is BS. That is B. You had Jaden Daniels and Colton Loveland starting for 3 weeks. This is your Ashton Genty game, isn't it?
It is.
You don't give a damn about any other game on the schedule.
I even spent money to buy 5 more roster moves.
Get out of here.
I did.
I hope. Trust me, I am nervous about this being your Ashton Genty game. I am. We currently look at the matchup here. It's 62.84 to 60.5.
Who's winning?
You have Caleb, Chase Brown, Cortland Sutton all to go. I have Tucker Kraft, Kyron Williams, Ricky Pearsall, and the Niners defense. I'm up 2.
I knew. I was waiting to see if you recognized that I changed my lineup.
Oh, I recognize. I knew. Look at Kyle says the battle of the human bye week. You know who the human bye week is, Kyle? Here, where am I pointing? Yeah, there we go. That guy. Human bye week.
Right there.
Bear down, my friend.
Bear down. I'll be at the recap studios when this game goes final, and it will be. By the way, the Saints just turned it over on downs.
That should do it, right?
5:36 to go up 9.
A nice little drive here should take care of it. So this has been the PREKap. We are here each and every week prior to the Bears game. Cap, I really hope that we are heading into October with a Chicago Bears team that's 2-2 and trending this way, and a Chicago Cubs team that's not necessarily trending perfectly heading into the playoffs, but will be our first postseason team in the history of the recap channel.
That's it. My Cubbies. Yes, sir.
Enjoy it, folks. Enjoy it. Let's get a Bears win. We'll see
you on the recap.
See you on the recap tonight. We'll have the baseball recaps, our final White Sox recap tonight, and our final Cubs regular season recap. Those games just started about a half an hour ago. We're both playing Caleb Williams over. Let's go. You should too, Cap. See you after the game.